If you play RuneScape and haven't gone through the plugin hub in a while, don't worry, I've got you. If you're a PvMer or a PKer, I've gone through the whole thing, and these are the best plugins in the game. There's going to be some for absolutely everybody, so please enjoy. First things first, if your client looks all choppy like this, make sure you turn on the first plugin, GPU. Makes everything look so much more HD. As you can see in my settings, I have MSAA 4 on, that's the smoothing around the character. XBR, if you turn this to something else, I find that the items aren't as crisp, so I really like XBR there. Then you'll also want to turn on unlock FPS. If I turn this off, the game only runs at 50 FPS, but if you turn it on, you can unlock the FPS to play as high as you like. Then of course turn VSync off. This is so that the camera, when I move it around, is nice and smooth. After that, I just like to set my FPS to 144 because I don't want to play on like 300 FPS. The next plugin is stretch mode. As you can see, I actually play full screen stretch on the fixed mode client. And as you can see, the switches are way easier on a full screen monitor. You wouldn't play any other game on like a 300 by 300 box, so you shouldn't do the same on RuneScape. Full screen, you'll feel a lot better within just a few hours. Next up is fixed mode hide chat. As you can see, I can minimize my chat box in fixed mode. It gives me all this extra room to click and be better at the game. Helps a lot. You wouldn't play with a box covering half your screen in other games, just like I was saying earlier, so let's do the same for RuneScape. The next one I get asked quite often, how did I reskin my game client? It is the Resource Packs plugin pack. As you can see, I have the grey theme currently, but you can do some crazy ones. They have a lot of options. There's a huge list of them, as you can see on the right side. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go back to my grey theme. This one's a bit bright for me. Next up, we have a really important plugin, and that's to tell you if the server has lagged or if your internet has actually disconnected. So I'll turn off my internet real quick right here. And as you can see, it says I've disconnected with the connection lost. And it just shows it on my mouse. So if you was a hardcore or whatever, you'd be spamming your teleport like this right now. But yeah, unresponsive cursor plugin, very useful. I often get asked how I got so fast and accurate at switching. And I found that these three things made a huge difference for me, and that's changing my cursor to a square. A normal mouse pointer is not symmetrical, so with this one, as soon as my mouse touches the item, I can already click to switch. This helped my brain when learning. Then the next two things, I play a low DPI. I'll show you. 300 DPI, and then if we go to our actual mouse settings, I play 6 out of 11 window setting, and once again, I did change my cursor to a square in the actual computer settings. If you want my cursor, it's in the Discord, otherwise make it yourself on one of those custom cursor websites like I did. Just since I know people will ask, the reason you use low DPI is because you play the game in this 4x4 square. It's a very small part of the screen, so I use my wrist for these, and then I use my arm for actual flicks. Having your mouse speed or DPI faster doesn't make you faster, it makes you more inaccurate, which means that you can't go as fast. So having a low speed lets you get really, really fast because you're so accurate. You can just full send. Continuing along that line, the World Hopper plugin is next, and I like to draw my ping. As you can see, it'll show up right here. And it shows me my ping to the world as 18 ms right now. That's not all though, it also lets you hop worlds with the left or right arrow keys. You can customize these hotkeys, but it is really nice. So if I just tap my right arrow key, as you can see, it's hopping me right now, and I didn't even have to go to my world list. Next up, one of the most OP plugins in the game that used to be banned until Jagex reapproved it a few years later, the customizable XP drops. As you can see, if I attack something, it'll tell me what I'm going to hit before I even hit it. And that's because of this plugin. If I turn it off, it just tells me the experience I get, which is 20. But if I turn it back on, it tells me the exact number that I'm going to hit. So I'll show you the settings and how to set it up. To set this up, turn on group XP drops, show fake icon, show skill icons, allow icons override, and then in the skills to filter, you want to type strength, range, hit points, defense, and attack. Next, we're going to go to the predicted hit section. Make sure you tick show predicted hit, never group predicted hit, and XP multiplier. You can change it if you're playing a temporary game mode, and I also turn it to a hit splat. Lastly, we're going to the miscellaneous tab, and we're going to hide vanilla XP drops and hide vanilla XP tracker. You just want this to take priority. And once again, when you do the skills to filter, do not write magic in here. You want to be able to see your mage XP drop if you splash. If you're pking, it's a tele block or something like that, or a freeze. If you're struggling to attack tick perfectly, put attack timer metronome on. Make sure you do show attack cooldown ticks. You can copy my settings here, it's just like preference for those. As you can see, 4, 3, 2, and now I can already attack 5, 4. And then I just click every time it says 1 in blue, I can already attack again. Which is absolutely very nice for new players or people who are just trying to get used to game ticks. Another one that I get asked quite often is how do I get these corner tile indicators? And that's the name, corner tile indicators. It also shows the final destination tile. I have the highlight color to red and I always turn fill opacity to completely nothing. I also turn off the hovered tile. So if I turn this on, you can kind of see where your mouse is hovering. I don't really like that, but you can use it if you like it. And then highlight true tile is the one that I'm currently standing on. It's because the character doesn't really show you like where you actually are. Your characters move before the animation goes off. If you want to log in fast, you need to get the profiles plugin. You just the profiles tab on the side and it'll fill out your username for you. You just click the account you want, type in your password and you're good to go. If you want to log in even faster because you're lazy like me, you can use the KeyPass XC plugin, but it does require you to download something to your computer. So if you don't trust it, all good. But yeah, that's just what I do. That's how I log in so fast, like 50 accounts. It's been around since like the 2000s. Next, make sure you turn your bank plugin on. It will show you the price of your bank value. And then turn on bank tags and bank tag layouts. So bank tag layout, as you can see here, I have all my setups just already set up in these side panels here. If you want to make one, you just new tag tab. You can drag items in or you can click this to preview an auto layout to set up what you're currently wearing. So if I make a new one right here, let's just call it guide. And I scroll all the way to the bottom. Where is it? Scroll, scroll, scroll. I've got a lot of tags. Go preview auto layout. Boom. That's exactly what I am wearing right now, as you can see. The next plugin is the last one for getting geared up, and that is inventory setups. I actually prefer this over bank tags. It's much simpler in my opinion. Make sure you enable add duplicates so that there can be multiple items within the bank tag. So in this case, let's make one for the guide. Press the plus, add new setup. Let's type guide. It'll go all the way to the bottom. And I click these three buttons to make it show up in the bank, and then click the star to make it go to the top of the list. So now if I have a look in the bank, right click your worn items, guide, as you can see, everything is here. So say you want to sleep and re-gear, it'll take no time at all. Time to re-gear, so just pull out all these items, just put these on, and then we will be all set to go back out. And in this case, I'll be finishing the guide, but for you guys, you'll be PvMing or whatever. And there you go, re-geared in 2 seconds, and I made the bank tag or the inventory setup within seconds as well. Next, we have the tick tracker plugin, and as you can see, there's this % sign at the top of my client, and that shows you how stable the world is. If I change this % good to last tick, it shows you the duration of a tick. A tick is not always exactly 0.6 seconds. Sometimes it's 580, sometimes it's 620, and it averages out to be about 600. So I like to have this on in case I think I did something wrong, and it turns out it was just the server delay. Alright, the next plugin is opponent information, and this will just show you how much health your target has left. So if you're fighting someone or you're PvMing, it just has a little bar graph here showing what they have. You can also do lookup players on interaction. So then if you get in a fight with someone, it'll auto high score them. The next plugin, one of the most OP plugins in the game, is the visual metronome. As you can see, if you tick show tick number above player, I have all the tick and tocks transparent, but you can actually have a colored box around it as well. But as you can see, it's showing me on a 6 tick attack style. I have it as 6. So whatever you're fighting, you change the number of colors to that. So as you can see, on 1 is when the attack is going to come. So on 6, I just pray and I get a perfect pray flick off every time. So if you're in Inferno doing 4 ticks, it just makes it very AFK. If you hate G spammers like me, well, this next one's for you. Spam filter. So if you see someone spamming at the G, that's a bot or whatever, you can right click it, mark as spam, and the message will be removed and you won't see it anymore. Everybody should be using menu entry swapper. Make sure you go to the final one, ground item swaps, tick, shift click, walk here. If you're PvMing and you don't want to misclick and you need to walk under or around the corner, you can shift and walk under. It's very, very good. And of course you have customizable ones. So say I want to left click my house. I already have it set up, but hold shift, swap left click. I could swap that to home or Alderan if I always want to go to Alderan. Now, as you can see, I can left click and go to Alderan. If I want to reset that, right click, swap left click, and just click reset. Not just for teleports, you can do it to all sorts. So say you don't want to left click attack this, you can right click, swap left click to pickpocket or walk here. So now if it's walk here, I can never left click it, even though my options are on. Or maybe I want it to be pickpocket. Now I can left click pickpocket. You can do that for items, for objects, absolutely everything. This is just a must have for everybody. One of my favorites, the flipping utilities plugin. If you want to make money, flipping is a massive profitable activity. So you go to the flipping tracker. Here we go. As you can see here, it shows how much you've made in your flipping on the ground exchange, whether you're in profit or not. And then the flipping little tab here, you can search whatever item you want. Let's have a look. What is there? Let's do Aldarium. Okay, looks like there's a little margin on it. If you click other, it shows you the profit. So I can make up to 3K, but for example, we're just going to do something like this. Let's buy one. And once it buys, I will sell it back and I'll show you the profit in the stats tab. All right, our Aldarium has bought and now we're just going to sell it back. It's sold. Very nice. Let's collect that. Let's have a look. And we're rich. 1.8k profit. But anyways, that's the flipping tracker, flipping utilities plugin. Very nice. Next one's for those people who are on a laptop or something that isn't running that great. You can turn on low detail. And as you can see, none of the things are around on the ground. You can also hide lower planes to save some more FPS, get some more FPS out of it. Pairing with the low detail, FPS control plugin is really good. Say you don't want to play at 140 FPS and you want to limit, you can limit it down to 60 or whatever. You can also limit unfocus. So right now I'm not on the client, I've limited it to 10 FPS. As soon as I click back on the client, FPS goes right up. So say you're watching YouTube or you don't want to, waste your computer's energy, you just turn this FPS control on. Next up, we've got the loot tracker plugin, and this one tracks everything that you've PK'd and PvM'd pretty much. It'll just all go into here, which is nice. If you want to check today's session, you just click these 3 buttons and you can see what you've got today. Another one, if you have trouble when you're switching and you're dragging stuff, turn on anti-drag plugin. This way you make it much harder to drag the items. So I have it set to 8. You can up it if you are still dragging. The next one is called Switching Trainer. This one's really cool. So basically it just tells you in chat how you're doing switching. So right there I did a 5-way 1 tick and it says how good you did. If you do like only a few switches, it'll tell you as well. So you see I did 4 switches and 2. It's like, oh, I got to be, it ranks your switches basically in the chat, which is really good for practice. The next plugin is Histogram. If you turn it on, it shows you game ticks. Every time the blue line touches that, the game tick swaps. As you can see with my visual metronome here, the timing is exactly the same. So if you turn it, see, it shows you that you clicked in between the game ticks every time. And that's how you can practice switching. It also works for prayer flickings. I get both my clicks off at the same time in between the ticks. My prayer flicks will be perfect. Another really nice plugin is the line of sight plugin. As you can see, it draws 9 tiles. So that's what I have it set to. You can change it to 10 or whatever if you want to do 10 tile in PvP, or you want to change it to the weapon length that you have. And that way you can just stand and know exactly when you can attack something. The next plugin is Entity Hider. If you want to hide yourself so you can see who's standing on top of you, you turn this on. Or if you want to use it for PvM, you can see it has hide other players' pets, hide dead NPCs. So as soon as it does, it instantly disappears. You can hide thralls in case you're last rowing in TOA. Really good plugin to have. And yeah, if you're in PvP, I'd like to pair this with the player outline plugin. Now if someone's standing on top of me, I can see them. And I can still see what my character's doing at the same time as well and what I'm wearing. My player outline settings are this: 7 width, outline feather 4. Next we have the PvP performance tracker. So as you can see, you want to turn on the fight overlay with deserved damage and damage dealt. Everything doesn't really matter. So the deserved damage is how much damage you should have dealt, and the damage that you actually dealt is just whatever your RNG was in game. So that way you can see if you played better or if it was just RNG. A lot of people just don't really know, you know what I mean? And he's dead. So now if we go and have a look at the actual PvP tracker, I got very good RNG of 150 damage when I only deserve to do 75. I'm not going to complain. A win's a win. But that's how you can see if it was RNG or skill. Next up is the GP per hour plugin. You can basically make it sort by how much you've made this session on this account. So say I PK something real here, get this guard down, and I pick up 7 coins. 7 GP profit, and the bones 76 GP profit. It shows up as a drop down and you can just keep track of how much you made. If I end up, I don't know, let's say I drink a potion or I bury the bones and my profit just went down by 70 GP. Next we have the Ring of Recoil Notifier. This is a really good one if you're using recoils for anything. So say I break this recoil right now, yeah? Or I say it's just broken. Now you can see I'm not wielding it. It'll glow red to put it back on, and now the plugin will disable once I'm wearing it again. You're still trying to get better at prayer flicking, turn on the prayer plugin and change this to prayer orb. As you can see, there's this little line across. Every time it starts, you have to just double click pretty much. So as you can see, I'm not losing any prayer points. Help you learn how to 1-tick flick like that. Next we have prayer volume control, and you can control each prayer and how loud it is when you activate it. Some of these prayers are quite loud when you switch between them. Next is the screen markers plugin. So press the plus. Press where you want, so I'm just going to put on the ice barrage icon, press the tick, I'm going to put the thickness down and then change it to, I don't know, let's go with like a light blue, something like that. Yep, there we go. You can use it to switch. So even though I'm on another book, I can see that if I click here, my barrage is ready to go. Next, we have the ground markers plugin. To do it, you just hold shift, right click, mark tile. Then if you want to label it, you can, like let's just say stand. You can now have text on any of your marked tiles. You can also change the color by holding shift again, change the color. I'm just going to go with, let's go for green. There we go. It's a bit easier to see. And then if you don't want it anymore, hold shift, right click, unmark the tile. Very nice and easy. Next plugin is shortest path. And all you have to do is open the wilderness map, right click wherever you want. Say I wanted to go to Varrock. I'm going to right click here with shift, set target. Now it's actually showing me the fastest way to get there. So it's telling me to teleport to the Rat Pits minigame teleport and then run there. Otherwise, I would have just ran all the way there. Quest Helper plugin, one of the best plugins in the game. If you want to start a quest, just go to it, start a Quest Helper. It'll show you what items you need, everything like that. It like even helps you with your banking. So say you go in the bank, click this quest icon at the top. It'll show you what items for the quest you already have. Say you don't have something, you go in the G, press buy. There's another quest icon here and it'll show all the items that you're missing in the chat box. Another banger is the better teleport menu. So now I can right click and set a hotkey on all of my teleports. So as you can see, I have G as G, Edgeville as E, stuff like that. The path marker plugin. So when you turn this on, I have a lot of my stuff as opaque or just really, really transparent. And you can turn it to dot or squares. So I do tiles. You can see it marks all the tiles to get to your destination. I like the dots personally. So if I'm running really far away, I can kind of see which way I'm going to go. If you misclick, then you'll like kind of know you can recorrect. Round items plugin. Really, really good one. You can expand it and write whatever items you want into the highlighted items. I put all my defender so they always show up, stuff like that. And you can also toggle all these things on. And I've changed the colors. I've changed the values. So if it's below 20k, it'll just be a normal color. If it's over a high price, it'll be red. So like say I drop my T-bow right here. Please don't disconnect. That'll be bad. You can see it's in red, 1.57 bill. If I drop anything else, I guess nothing else is not worth that much. But yeah, there you go. That's how it works. All right, so this one's not really for me. 117 HD. Turns your client into full HD. Let it load. As you can see, you can play the game in HD. Looks pretty cool. Not for me, but yeah, you do want to turn it off. Make sure you turn your GPU back on because that plugin turns it off. The Arceuus Timers plugin. This one will tell you when you need to cast a depth charge. Say your Thrall runs out, it'll just remind you to cast another one. This plugin is actually currently down, but you should definitely get it. It's called G Filters. So say you've just bought something, you bought a bunch of items, you want to buy some more of something, there'll be a previous button here so you can look at all the items that you've recently purchased. Yeah, it is a good plugin. Make sure you install it. G Filters. The Friends House plugin, a really good one if you're playing a new account or you just want to use your house, your duo logged or whatever. Now when I type that in, it automatically shows whatever I have typed. I can always go to the house without having to type it in. The Friend Notes plugin. So if I right click someone and I type add note, I can write, okay, I don't know if they're name changing a lot, type who it is, and then it'll show up as a little note next to their name. So you can add notes to anyone on your friends list. Same kind of thing. Friend List plugin adds extra information to your friend and ignore list. So I have like hop to, so that kind of stuff. If you're not quite sure what is best to use against a monster, turn on monster stats. You can look it up. So let's look up General Grador, Vandos boss. As you can see, it's got very high mage def, but not so high defense against range or melee. So yeah, range or melee will be very good. All about the same defense. Next up, we have monster HP percentage. Just show HP over chosen NPCs and then type their name in. I will quickly show you how it works. And I like to have it in green. You can have it however you like it. It's just so that you can show the exact HP, but also know what percent they are for when they proc a different attack style. So as you can see, it's at 100%. I do another damage right here. It should go down. Yeah, that's how it works. Now we have monster menu HP. So how this works is if I hit a monster, let's hit this one as well. Down on top of each other real quick. Say you're going to right click them. You can see how much HP they have by how much it's gray. So if I hit it again. Now you can see the HP bar's gone down. Hit it again. Well, maybe if I hit something. Oh, he's dead. But you can see it's all grey when they die. But yeah, that's how it works. A really good plugin as well. If you want to know what loot something drops, turn the loot lookup plugin on. And you just right click. Up. And it'll do it for you. And you can literally look at the drop rates and everything of what the NPC drops. Have you ever accidentally emptied a drink or a potion? Oh, turn on not empty and you can't even click it anymore. You can only drop it, drink it, or use it. If you want a custom RSN, turn on the RSN Hider plugin. As you can see, it changes to whatever you type. I can literally be Zazima if I wanted. Another great plugin, clear unsent messages. If you don't type anything, the message will disappear after a set amount of time. Say you're switching, hotkeying, you know, with the bottom of your hand touches the keyboard, it'll just disappear after a few seconds, which is nice. Little spoof plugin is the fake Iron Man icon. Maybe you want to play Bronze Man though, you can change it to something that isn't real, or you're creating your own series. You can see you can change your icon to whatever. You can even do custom icons, I believe, but I don't know if you can still do that because some people are doing JMod icons. Another very cool plugin is the fake stats plugin. You can change the total level text. You can also change the level. See, now I'm 1 attack. If I want to change it, let's change it back to 99. You can change your stats to whatever you like. If you're not sure till how long your teleblock runs out or how long till your freeze runs out, the timers and buffs plugin is really good. Make sure you turn it on, turn your freeze timer on. It'll tell you how long you're frozen for. You can also have your Staff of the Dead timer to tell you how long your staff is lasting for. All sorts of stuff like that. Very nice. If you're into farming or birdhouse runs, the time tracking plugin is really good. As you can see, it tells me when my herbs are done, when my tree runs are done, when my birdhouses are done, all of that kind of stuff. It has pretty much everything, which is really, really good. If you don't check your timer enough, that one, you can also turn on the time tracking reminder, and then it'll tell you on screen as well, not just in the plugin on the side. If you ever run out of your boost, the unpotted reminder will tell you when you to repot. So as you can see, I repotted and the notification goes away. You can make it flash, you can make it all sorts of colors, but I just like it in a purple down bottom left. It keeps you potted while you're training the whole time. The regeneration meter is really good. As you can see, it's telling me when my HP stat is going to regen, and also if I do a staff spec or whatever, now it will show me when my special attack is going to regen as well. If you often forget to redo your Thrall, make sure you install the Thrall helper plugin. I have mine set to a red with a opacity of 150 and 150 opacity on this as well. So then it flashes red and just like transparent. Not sure how much you've drained of an NPC? Install the special attack counter plugin. As you can see, it says I've hit 1 Eldermore spec and 35% of the damage has been reduced, or damage, sorry, the defense has been reduced. If I use BGS, it'll tell me how much I've drained. So it says I did 29 BGS damage. So I know I drained 35% at the start and then 29 from the BGS. So good plugin to tell you how much you've drained them. If you want your game to feel a bit more interactive, the visual NPC dialogue is really nice. See, it says basically what they're saying as you talk to them. If I say, what is this place? It'll say the next line as well. See, it tells you what he's saying, but in game. Another awesome plugin is being able to tag NPCs. NPC indicators plugin, make sure you get it. Hold shift, right click, and you can tag all the bankers. You can make it draw below them. You can draw their hull. You can change all sorts. You can even do their respawn timer. So once I get the kill, it'll show when it's going to spawn and where as well. If you always want to know the best place to do your assignment, get the Thrall skipping plugin. So as you can see, a pop-up will show up and tell you exactly where to go to get the task done the fastest. Another great one, especially for the wilderness, is the player indicators plugin. When someone logs in, you'll see a red name appear above you, and if they're under you, you'll see it pop up as well. You can also make it so it's just on the mini-map. Of course, there's a lot of people here so you can't see, but if it's just you and a few other people, you could see them on the map very clearly. If you don't want to get a certain type of combat XP on an account, turn on attack styles. You can remove worn style. You can also hide auto retaliate if you don't want that there. It's very, very good. If you need to log out fast, the large logout plugin is perfect. Look how big that is. Easy to click, instantly log out. If you hate dying in the wilderness player alarm is really good. Even if they're one tile out of your vision, the game will still be able to read that they're there. It'll flash your screen so you know to teleport or log out. Next up, if you're in the wildy, you want the wilderness lines on so you know not to go into multi. As you can see, it's showing me the multi line right here. Yeah, you don't want to bring risk into the wildy, especially not like 11 bill or anything like that. Next up, we have protect item notify. So if you're in PvP and you don't have it on, it will remind you. I put it on and it's disappeared. Similarly, the Trover Parchment alert is really good. So if you have an item that you want a parchment, make sure you have it and it'll flash a reminder on screen telling you, oh, your thing's not parchmented every time you go into a dangerous area. Phoenix Necklace is a super underrated item, and if you have Phoenix Necklace jingle, it'll notify you when it breaks. As you just saw, the next one is Equip Alert. So when your Phoenix Necklace breaks, there you can see it will light the next one up red to make sure you wield another one instantly. Same goes for recoils. You can choose what necklaces. If you're training, Herblore at the bank, you can also do that one. If you want to know what your max hit is without going to your house or your dummy every time, turn on the max hit calculator. As you can see, it's telling me how much more strength bonus I need till the max hit. And if I put piety on, the max hit goes up. It's constantly calculating what you're wearing. And yeah, just saves you time. A new 2025 plugin, the Action Progress plugin. So when you start making stuff, it shows you how long till they're all done. So you can see you got 7 more to go, 6 more, 5 more. Really nice and clean. It's great for skilling, bank standing. You can pretty much do all these skills, which is really, really nice. If you have struggle recognizing the difference between gear, like maybe black D-hide and black armor or something like that, you can use inventory tags. Right click the armor with shift at the same time, inventory tag. Pick, let's just go with, since it's melee, let's go with red. For range, let's do that. Let's pick green. As you can see, I could make all of my range armor green and all of my melee armor red. If you're not sure to your next level, use a skilling calculator plugin. Just go to the calculator, pick, let's say prayer. Let's say we want to go from 70 to 99. And you can go down, you can pick your bones or whatever. Let's do a gilded altar in this case, and I'm using dragon bones. And it tells you exactly you would need 48,797 bones from 70 to 99. If you use emojis a lot and you need them in RuneScape, turn on the emojis plugin. So as you can see, I drop an XD and there's a nice little smiley in-game. Next is the Venom timer plugin. It will tell you when the Venom's going to hit, and as you can see, allows you to stack things all together. If you want to see how long you've been logged in for, you can use the report button plugin. You can change it to the login time, the date, to Jackix HQ time to see when the update's coming, to game ticks, anything you like. Kind of dark in the TOB area, so if you get TOB light up, it just fixes that so you don't have to look at all the darkness. And in TOB light colors, you can change the chest to be purples, reds, whatever, so it doesn't just have that big arrow above them when you get a drop. Another favorite of mine is the weapon gear animation replacer. So you can change items to have kits and stuff on them. As you can see, my scythe currently just looks like normal. Boom, there you go. Got a kit, holding it differently as well. I can change how I hold it, or just hold it however I want, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. You can do some really nice stuff with it. If you're still asking people to time your sets in Inferno, use the set timer plugin. It's really good. You just press start and it'll tell you when the next set will spawn. Another amazing one is screenshot plugin. This one basically shows you and saves everything that you want when it happens. So I have a folder right here of, let's say, wilderness loot chests. So as you can see, it just saves every kill that I get as a screenshot. Every time I open the chest, it will save it as a screenshot, which is just really, really nice. And of course, I can see all my deaths, all my kills. Yeah, you can even show, like, say you're not recording and you get a pet drop, it'll screenshot it for you. Did you know that you can draw on RS with RS Paint? So if I hold Control and B, I can write. Look at that. And if I want to delete it, Control N, and I can just delete whatever I'm writing. Next, if you want to keep your roofs on for better scenery and you want to look into buildings, turn on roof removal. Whenever you hover your mouse over, then you can see inside. If you're sick of checking your world to see what world you're in to tell your friends or whatever, you can use the current world overlay. I always have it on. It just shows me what world I'm in, top right of my screen. Many people don't know, but the best melee training method is actually organized crime. And I made a guide on it, so if you haven't watched it yet, check it out on my channel. But if you turn this plugin on, and you go and check the board, all the crimes will show up here and you don't really have to track anything yourself at all. How many times have you gone to train Herblore and you just don't know what you need? Well, the Herblore recipes plugin, I can hover over it and it shows you what you can make, what the secondaries are, what level you need, everything you need to do with Herblore. If you don't know what seeds you have in the bank because they all look the same, you can turn on item identification, and then it tells you what they are, as well as saplings, all those seeds kind of things, everything in farming. It's really good. If you've ever tried to use a banknote on the bank and misclicked, well, never again, because now you just have to use the easy unnote function. And as you can see, I can't click anything except the bank. Opening doors normally is a bit boring, so why not just kick them open? All you need is the door kicker plugin. If you have a favorite world that you always want to play on, make sure you turn on the default world plugin, type the world. Every time you load your client, it'll always be this world. Have you ever tried to write 1.1k into the G if you're trying to buy something? Well, now you can with decimal prices. There you go. You used to not be able to do that. You want a custom cursor but don't want to change it on your PC? Use the custom cursor plugin. You can use a dragon simmy, a trout, anything you like. Even the equipped weapon that you've got. One that I love is the chat timestamps plugin. It'll just give you timestamps in your chat. So if someone types in clan chat and you're AFK, you can see when they said it in case it's been too long and you don't need to reply. This ties into chat history, which saves your history even if you log out. So say you disconnect, you log back in, all the messages you miss will still be there. And the final plugin is chat filter. Say you don't want, I don't know, let's say you don't want people promoting their discords. Just write Discord, and then anytime someone says it, it won't even show up on screen or in your chat messages. And that has brought us to the end of all the plugins. I've looked into all of them, every single one in the plugin hub. So if you did enjoy this video, it did take me a whole day to make this. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I will see you guys for the next time.